At an afternoon public meeting here on Granville Island, Jim Green says the city engineer wouldn't hear of his suggestion to find alternative sites. However,
Mayor Harcourt has moved from that position and is saying that he will look at alternatives, and they can find anything else. He's willing to try to move that parking lot out of there.
Green thinks Harcourt got some bad advice in the beginning. In mid-March, the parking lot issue comes before the Permit Development Board. John Oliver, WX 1130 News. Leaving from Expo in a few hours, North Vancouver's Chris Donald and 6 others will start up their Jeeps and hit the road for a 4,000-kilometer trip to Tuktoyaktuk.
We have a large Expo flag we're taking with us, and I think we'll be trying to highlight to people that Expo is something real. It's not just something you read in the papers about.
Donald says American Motors are the sole sponsors. It takes 7 days to get there. They'll rest in Tuk one day and then drive back. He points out their experience, but they've never done it in cold weather conditions before. John Oliver, WX 1130 News. Fire Chief Jack Berg says the fire started on the roof over the kitchen.
The lower floor isn't gutted. The fire barely touched the lower floors, but all the upper floors, as you can see, the attic area is gutted out pretty good.
White Spot President Peter Main is with me. Can you estimate the extent of the damage?
I can. I haven't been inside, but I understand the dining room and kitchen areas are totally destroyed, so it's going to be something that our engineering group starting tomorrow will be working on to better understand. Is it a rebuild or is it something else?
Meantime, investigations are on to determine the cause. John Oliver, WX 1130 News. Good afternoon. It's 5 o'clock, 17 degrees, and sunny with a few clouds. I'm John Oliver, WX 1130 News Update. The Prostacies are crossing their fingers for tiny daughter Bonnie Marie. The 18-day-old premature baby is reported close to death. 3 others of the septuplets have already died. Another big fire in Florida.
The thermometer hit the mid to upper 90s in North Florida today, and Angela Hildreth with the State Forest Service says that made it especially rough on the hundreds of firefighters battling a 21,000-acre forest blaze.
We've had no deaths or injuries. We did have a few firefighters treated for heat exhaustion. It is hot out there, and but they are back on the fire at this time.
The small town of Madison, threatened by the advancing flames earlier today, seems to be safe, at least for now. The fire, which covers a 3-county area in the Florida Panhandle, was sparked by lightning 3 days ago. Tom Flanagan for CBS News, Tallahassee, Florida.
Police in Sao Paulo, Brazil, have been interrogating an immigrant from Hungary who says she harbored Dr. Joseph Mengele for nearly 18 years. Nazi hunter Simon Wiesenthal at first was skeptical that the remains of the body found were those of the Auschwitz doctor. Now he's not so sure. There are new doubts from coroners who've been examining the body of a man who drowned there in '79. The coroners say the man seems to have been too young to be Mengele. A federal grand jury in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, has ordered 8 KKK, U.S. Nazis, and police officers to pay about $400,000 to the widow of a man shot at an anti-Klan demonstration 6 years ago.
For the lawyer of 2 of the men found liable in the death of a demonstrator, the money awarded the plaintiffs today is of less concern than the findings of the jury yesterday. Larry Moore represented a former Nazi and a Klansman against whom charges of conspiracy had been leveled.
We were concerned primarily with liability, and we think that we were pleased that the jury agreed that there was no conspiracy to injure anyone.
The damages awarded today were compensatory and not punitive. Moore says that is an indication the jury found the killing had not been done with malice. Melinda Pencava for CBS News, Durham.
The slowdown due to roadwork on Highway 10 in Delta is now over. Traffic between 96 and 104th Street had been crawling through, but it's back to normal now. We often hear of the exclusive clubs, usually men's clubs, that ban women from membership. Well, the Cosmos Club in Washington, D.C. is trying to end a 13-year-old debate over admitting women. They're asking prospective members to promise they won't seek to change its single-sex policy. The club is under no legal obligation to take in women, but there's growing internal pressure and outside criticism over its policy of accepting only men interested in science or literature. In sports, Creme Fraiche has won the 117th running of the Belmont Stakes. It's the first time a gelding has taken the 3rd leg of the Triple Crown. Chris Everett-Lloyd beat Martina Navratilova in the final of the French Open in tennis. The World Series champs Detroit Tigers had a 10-1 win over the Jays in Toronto. And the weather's next on WX 1130.